So my very first audition was for the Royal Shakespeare Company, which, globally renowned theatre company, considered one of the very best in the world. And I was in my final year at drama school, and I got a call from my very new agent saying I have, it's to go and do an audition for this very esteemed theatre director. Would you go and do a speech, pre-prepared speech from any Shakespeare play in front of this director? This was the Royal Shakespeare Company. I thought, my God, if I land this is huge. So, and it was for a tiny, tiny part, it was fine. But to be in the company would have been an extraordinary thing. And I said to my agent, well, actually, we're just learning some speeches because it's my last year at drama school. So I have something, but it won't be fully, but I'll do my best. She went, don't worry about it. I'll explain that, it's all good. So I turn up with this semi-prepared speech. And I walked into this very vast room, like all of those movies you've ever seen where, chorus line, someone walks into a vast room with mirrors on the side. It was exactly like that. And this rather curt man, who was the director, who has to remain nameless because legal issues will involve, he said, what's your name? I said, it's Alistair Petrie. And he said, fine. What are you going to do? I said, I'm going to do a speech from Richard II. One of the great tragedies, political tragedies of Shakespeare's canon. And he said, fine, can you make it funny? I went, yes. And then he said, I was joking. Right. So he pointed on the floor where there was a white line. And he said, go and stand behind that white line. So I did. He said, right, off you go. And I stumbled through it with a mixture of kind of hope and fear, but enough earnestness to at least show a sign that there was something that I could offer this man and his production. And then he said, stop. So I stopped. And then he said, sit down. So I sat down. And he said, you see, the trouble with drama students is, and then he just gave me this whole diatribe and I nodded and I left. And I went outside and I phoned my agent and she said, how did it go? And I went, I think it went okay. I think it went all right. And then he came out of the room to go and get a coffee or make a phone call or something. And he went, oh, are you? And I went, yes. He said, how tall are you? And I said, I'm 6'4". And he said, right, yes, good, because I think I need some odd-shaped people in this show. And then I left. And then I honestly believed I'd get the job. Needless to say, I didn't get the job. And as an opening audition into the world I now inhabit and have inhabited for quite a few years, it was horrendous. But there was Schadenfreude because that same director barely worked after an incident involving an Australian airport, a suitcase of things he shouldn't have had in that suitcase, and it made me smile when it happened.